being an idol for.
So tell me what she has ever done that you think is great, an achievement that she should be president.
Being vice president.
What has she done for you in the last 4 years to make you view her as an idol?
I mean, she's just the vice president. She can't do much, but I think just being herself, being a real boss.
Why are you voting for her?
Oh, just because I said she's an idol for the Democratic Party.
She said 4 years ago she wants to put a tax on unrealized capital gains.
Me and you both know that's not going to happen. So.
Well, so the things that she says she's not going to happen, that's why she's your idol.
What is the sales pitch for other white dudes that support Harris, would you say?
I would say because she's looking out for us, she's looking out for the country, and she's an inspiration.
Do you believe that it is a disaster to select someone for the job based on their race and their gender?
It depends.
Because I'm actually talking about Tim Walz in this case.
Wow.
Another white dude for Harris.
I have to say, he captured white dude for Harris energy perfect.
That might be not real. There's a chance, as I'm watching that now, I'm just thinking back to my college days. I could see that being like a frat deal where they're like, all right, man, you put on a Harris for white dudes for Harris t-shirt and go pretend that you're for Harris. Although I don't think anyone who actually is a supporter of Harris would do much better. Micah said, I wish your empathy segment ended up on the podcast and not just on SiriusXM. Would have loved to share it. Speaking of empathy, it was added to the leadership traits for the Marine Corps. For the Marine Corps. Marine Corps, like you said, gag me. Here are the 14 leadership traits in the Marine Corps. Judgment, justice, decisiveness, integrity, dependability, tact, initiative, enthusiasm, bearing, unselfishness, courage, knowledge, loyalty, and endurance. Those are awesome. Empathy does not belong on that list. Oh, Micah, thanks for letting me know that. After the election, we'll get back to that. But wokeness in the military is a major problem as well. Mitch is in Florida. What's going on, Mitch?
Hey, how you doing, Mike?
Good, man. Have you voted yet?
Yeah, so early voting in Florida started last Monday, and traditionally, my wife and I remember when I was a kid, like you said, you're going to take your kids to the polls, and I remember when I was a kid, it was electric. It instilled in me that this is something that I have to do, and I was amazed. The first time I got to vote was actually for Ronald Reagan, and I was amazed at how many people that were my age at the time that could care less about it. So, yeah, if you're a patriot and you got kids taking the polls with you, it's a great experience for them.
Let me say real quick, I'll let you finish your point.
Yeah.
I was not going to do that. I was going to go yesterday, and I was going to take just my 2-year-old, but I actually got an email from someone that said, hey, make sure you bring your kids. I forgot. I didn't think of it. They said, make sure you bring your kids. I was like, oh, yeah, of course, yes. So thank you to whoever sent me that email. That's why we're going this afternoon.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So we the reason I like to go on the day of the election is, there's that electricity in the air. You're standing in line with people, you're looking at them, and you can always tell, which ones are conservative, which ones are liberals by the scowl on their face. And I thought, okay, I'm going to do this early because this is what we got to do now. And I got there on Monday with my wife, and we walked in, and there was a line of people, and it was the same. The electricity was there. It was fun. People were joking and kidding with each other, just like, on election day. So, I mean, I think because this election is so damn important, the excitement is there, So, if that's what you're after, just vote early, get it done. It's
great.
there,
I like that a lot. That speaks to that a lot. That's really good, Mitch. Thank you for that. Thanks for that. That's really good. Yeah, I see that. I'm trying to think, why do I care so much about voting on election day? All I've said is, I'm a conservative, and I like the way things have always been done, and like that's enough. But because it's like that with everything. There was something the other day that changed. Like I don't care at all, but I was against it. What was it? It was something totally stupid, totally meaningless. Didn't matter. Oh, it was Southwest. Southwest changing their boarding policy. And I don't even like Southwest's boarding policy. I don't even like it. And they changed it. I'm like, oh, no, I'm against that. Right? Like, that's how traditionalist I am. I don't want anything to change. So I'm definitely someone who wants to vote on election day, but I don't care anymore. I'm freeing up another voter. When I vote early, I am freeing up the campaign to go find someone else to vote on election day when I otherwise would. But I already did. So now you're adding another voter. But maybe it's more than just my traditionalistness. Maybe it is that also the electricity of it. Good to know that there is electricity still today. That's awesome, Mitch. But also, even if there weren't, I'm fine with banking my vote and saving the electricity for next Tuesday. Because I will never forget November, whatever it was, 2016, the electricity when Trump beat Hillary Clinton. It was awesome. And I want that again. So I'm willing to trade even a little bit of electricity on the front end of my voting for the electricity of next Tuesday. Talk about a story arc. That will be a beautiful day, but we got to make it happen. You just talked about people standing in line, cutting up. Every time I voted in California, it is silent. You're not talking to anyone there. It's a very somber experience in California. I don't know if it's different at different places. But it's funny, you bring up the people standing in line. I'm pretty sure I could pick out who you're voting for with 95% accuracy, don't you think? Don't you think you could pick it with 95% accuracy who that person's voting for? That would be a fun experiment. I'll call out 20 people, have them line up. Be like, oh, Kamala, definitely Kamala. Trump. Yep, Trump. No, Trump. You're Trump. I get 95% right, I think. Go to Scott, who's in Georgia. Scott, how you doing?
Hey, doing good, Mike. How about you?
Real good. Have you voted early yet?
I have not yet, only because I have not gotten off work in time to go just yet. But it is on the agenda.
Good. Nice. I know you will. What's on your mind?
All right. So I wanted to say, first of all, I wanted to say that being a conservative Christian, I look at things a bit differently. I don't look at this election as being just about Trump versus Harris. I look at this as being about good versus evil, and about a division in this country. And if you go to the Bible and look at Luke 12:49 through 56, you will see where that division comes from. It says, and these are Jesus's words, so if they're in red, they're the truth. That he talks about the division. He says in Luke 12, verse 52, "Do you suppose that I came to give peace on earth? I tell you, not at all, but rather division." And he brings that division because there is a distinct line between good and evil, and I feel like that's what this election is truly about.
Yeah, that speaks a lot to the toxic empathy stuff we were talking about just a moment ago as well. Yeah. So this is a whole different topic. But people talk about how we're supposed to. Jesus is a uniter. It's like, no, like definitely not. Like it is sheep from goats. And hate your father and mother compared to the love for me. And it says here, from now on, 5 in one house will be divided, 3 against 2, 2 against 3, father divided against son, son against mother, mother against daughter, daughter against mother, mother-in-law against daughter-in-law. There is division caused here between truth and lies and good and evil.